Hello, fellow trailblazers. Welcome back to part 2 of the financial products review. So again, this does not constitute as financial advice. If you are looking for financial advice, please consult somebody who's accredited, qualified, and registered. These are my views and they do not express those of the organization. These are purely TK's views. So in the last video, I really just spoke about all the amazing things I love about Standard Lesotho Bank. And you know what they say about Standard Lesotho Bank? I've been trying to be a voiceover artist, Standard Lesotho Bank. It can be. So as we continue on, I think this is day 3 of the Global Money Week. Part of my initiatives is to say, you know what, let's do a product review of some of the amazing financial services that I enjoy from the local banks. And in the last video, I really spoke about the current account, the overdraft. I spoke about the personal loan, the home loan, the USD, and the credit card as well. So in this particular video, I really just want to focus on, and again, disclaimer, I'm not one to trash organizations. I believe in giving them constructive feedback, and hopefully they will take what they take, but really implement their services. So I'm all about positivity and wellness, So the few things that I feel like Standard Lesotho Bank can really work on or improve is, let's start with instant money. My experience with instant money has been really, really, unfortunately bad. On a couple of times, I've had to go to literally different ATMs because I would get to the ATM and it would tell me that, please redeem at the next ATM. The one time I actually drove from Maseru Mall. I went to private banking at LCCI building. I went to Pioneer, all 3 ATMs, in fact, all the ATMs at Pioneer. And then I went to, eventually I was able to redeem the money at City Branch. So for me, when somebody says, I'm going to send you instant money, I'm like, So, and I think maybe I'm comparing it to the other mobile money services from the other banks. But for me, I also don't like the fact that when I have to send you money, I have to send the PIN separately. I'm just like, can we innovate, So I don't know if there's been any work on that front been done since then, but for me that's been one of those really unfortunate experiences. The second thing that I really believe that Standard Lesotho Bank needs to improve on is the one-time passwords, whether you are doing a transaction online or when you're buying electricity. So many a time, I don't know if it's a service provider, the network service provider, but sometimes the OTP just never comes through. And I'm just like, and then what must happen? I'm in the middle of a transaction. So for me, that is the other thing that sort of kind of makes me feel a bit uncomfortable about the Blue Bank. On the other thing as well is the downtime when it comes to some of the digital platforms. So many a time I've gone on internet banking, particularly on Saturday mornings, trying to make a payment or a transaction, and then dololo access. And I'm like, I get that we can have downtime, but can we communicate? So for me, I believe that they really need to do a lot more in terms of communicating. Sometimes just sending your customers an SMS to tell them we are experiencing downtime is a really important thing. Further to that, the one time, I think about 3-4 months ago, is I was dropping somebody off after a late night in Masiano gang of working, and this is like in the midnight. This is around midnight. So I go to the petrol station in Masiano gang, and as I get there, I pour in fuel, and then I take out my card to swipe, and the card did not work. Little did I know that they had downtime, and the attendant was looking at me like, you're a shady guy. It's 2 a.m. You're shady. So for me, that really was a very unpleasant. And for me, again, goes back to communication. If there's going to be downtime, send out the SMS, send out a post on social media. So engage with your customers. And last but not least, when it comes to Standard Lesotho Bank, I love it. And I also sort of hate certain things about it. You're the relationship manager. I won't mention any names. In fact, I'll say relationship managers. I do understand that maybe they are overworked and have a lot of clients. But for me, communication. Sometimes I feel like speaking to my relationship manager is really an inconvenience. And I'm not the kind of client to call in and demand services. I'll send you an email or WhatsApp because I don't like phone calls in any case. But to get a response sometimes, or an update on where things are. I'm like, am I reaching for the stars here? No, not really. But again, until you are in their shoes, you don't really know what's important. But for me, those are the kind of things that I'll say they need to improve on. When it comes to the online platforms, really, like I mentioned in the last video, the online platforms are very stable. They're very accessible, but sometimes reliability can be somewhat questionable. I know I gave them a 9 out of 10, and I gave the 9 out of 10 for convenience and in terms of the product innovation and the developments they're doing. But sometimes stability, stability is very, very important. But other than that, it's a financial services provider like any other. I love the fact that they're committed to developing the infrastructure and to becoming better. And again, the tagline for me really stands out. It can be, it really gives me that belief that my dreams are valid. It gives me that belief that I can achieve whatever I want to achieve. And yeah, that's that. So I know people have been commenting to say, is that it? Yes, guys, these are my personal views. I could go on and on and on and on, but I don't want to bore you with negativity because 2021 is not really about negativity. It's about doing what really matters. So to the Blue Bank, keep doing what you're doing. Oh, the one thing that I love as well from the Blue Bank is their focus on development of entrepreneurs. They are really doing a lot in that regard. And from a CSI perspective, I won't speak about the CSI a lot, but I'll speak about their development and their focus on developing small enterprises in Lesotho. I've been fortunate enough to be at the Enterprise Hub before COVID. I've done amazing workshops there from a TKO perspective, and I absolutely loved it. I absolutely loved it. I think they did a recent campaign last year as well where they were giving away money and funding to entrepreneurs. So in terms of that, and now they've also done the local suppliers development program, which is also mwah. So in terms of doing that, I really salute and I take my head off. I've been on a stage many a time where they had sponsored events. So I see the effort and I recognize and appreciate the effort they're doing. Until the next video, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, share it with those who will benefit from it, tag whoever you need to tag in the video, and engage and tell me what's your highlight of Standard Lesotho Bank. And again, areas of improvement that you feel is also very important. Until the next review, which is the Tokos Bank. Love, peace, and enjoy the red wine. It's quite cold. Money. Peace, guys.